After we closed in December of 94, I took some time off before starting to look for another job. I just wanted, chill, hang out, whatnot. So, in September, I started looking for another job. Found one in December of 95 at Super A Video. So, I worked there. It was okay working there. I had a few issues on how the owners ran the place. Our video store, if you worked there, you got to rent movies for free. Super A Video, as an employee, you had to pay to rent movies, half price. So if it came out to 250, you had to pay $1.25. I understand it's a business and you're trying to make money, but what pissed me off about that was I got in trouble one day because a customer came over and asked about a movie, Dangerous Minds. Hey, what do you think about this movie? The manager said, "Oh, it's a great movie. I love it." I said, "Oh, it was okay. It reminded me too much or a little bit like the movie Lean on Me, but it's definitely worth watching at least once." So she rented it, leaves. The manager gives me shit. "You can't say that." Say what? It's like, "You have to tell him it's a good movie." Like, I gave her my honest opinion, said it's worth watching at least once. "But you have to tell him it's a great movie. We have to." It's like, look, I know it's a business. My parents had a video store for 15 years, 14 years. I know movies need to get rented out. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, every movie in this store is awesome, it's fantastic, just to get to rent. Second of all, nobody's going to listen to me. It's like, oh, why would I ask your opinion? According to you, every movie in this store is awesome. And if you're charging me half price to rent a movie to take home, no, I'm not going to lie and say every single movie here is awesome. And they opened while I worked there. It was 9 a.m. to midnight. Later on, I found out it was 10 a.m. to midnight, then 11 a.m. to midnight, whatever. But you cannot rent a new release until 15 minutes before closing. So if you were working, hey, not a problem. Just in case it gets rented out, it's understandable. We kind of had that rule too. But who's going to show up at 11:45 to rent a movie and then get it back the next day? And reservations. You could at our video store, you could reserve a movie for whenever. And we'd keep it till like the end of the night, just in case, you came in 5 minutes before we closed. They did not take reservations at Super 8 Video. You could call in and ask about a movie. Yes, we have it. We'll hold it for an hour. That's it. So if you couldn't get over there within the hour, they'd put it back on the shelf. Oh, it's going to get rented. It's like, are you serious? You're going to tell me some low budget movie is going to get rented within the next hour that's been sitting on the shelf for the last 6, 7 months? You're going to tell me it's going to get rented within the hour. One of the other differences was we kept our new releases on a separate wall. They did not have a new release section. But again, it's a big store, so understandable. They had each section, it was in rows. And this location they did keep the actual boxes on the shelf. So in each section, the top row would be new releases and they'd be put in like this plastic pink box with the movie behind it. So that when it came time, you just take the movie from the top shelf and move it downwards into that section. Which kind of made sense. You didn't have to worry about moving it from one store end of the store to the other. One of the things they did have there was a slot machine. So it didn't matter how many movies you rented, one, two, three, five, seven, you only got one token. You put it in, pull the lever. If it hit certain things, then you get a free rental. And I remember at the time it had gotten busy. It was like a Friday or Saturday or something, so it was just me for a bit. And it had been steady. So somebody noticed, hey, there's a purse sitting here. I was like, oh, okay, thanks, pass it over. I took it over, set it aside. Girl came in, the coworker showed up about an hour after that. A girl came in and said, I think I left my purse here. It's like, yeah, it's just right here. She leaves. 10 minutes later, comes back and says, uh, there's money missing out of my wallet. I'm missing $20. It's all the money I had. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I was steady, and she left it on the other side. Because when you walk in, you had the counter, and then there's a space to walk through with like a metal detector in case anybody decided to steal anything. So there's an entrance door and an exit door that were two totally separate doors. And the slot machine, so this is the counter, the slot machine was on the opposite counter, and that's where she had left her purse. And with it being steady, I can't keep an eye on everything. And I didn't even notice it was there until another customer mentioned it. And she, like, I understand she's being upset, but like I said, I had so many customers come and go. Anything, anybody could have gone through it. The guy that mentioned it, hey, there's a purse here. He could have gone through it, taken it, because there was three of them at the time. He could have gone through it, taken it, and then so she left in a huff. Like I told, I don't know what you want me to do. It's like I know I didn't take it, and who knows how long it was sitting there for. I ended up starting there in December '95. I ended up quitting in August of '96. So, no, I wasn't there for very long. I ended up getting a job elsewhere. A customer had come in, mentioned, if, hey, is anybody looking for work? I say, I'm looking to like change careers. I guess I'm kind of getting sick of doing that. So I ended up quitting, and there's like a lot of stuff going on. Stuff like one of the game systems ended up going missing. Not on my shift. I had 2 days off. It went missing during those 2 days I wasn't there. And I remember having a discussion with the manager, the one of the other employees that would work there. He'd kind of sit down and be all. And so of course, anything can go missing during that time when he's got it. He's got his head in his hands, not paying attention. Of course, there's a metal detector for like the movies, and for some reason they had CDs there as well for sale. It's like, and not just soundtracks. They had very few soundtracks, but like average music CDs. Like, is this a video store or a music store? It made no sense. But yeah, they tried to blame me for a couple of things that went missing that I wasn't even working. And yeah, it was a set of brothers that were working that owned it. And the one thing I also noticed is at our store, Christmas time, we always got great gifts or whatever. When the first, I say, 8 years were open, we'd take the whole staff out for dinner. And then later on, when there wasn't as much staff, you'd still get a great gift at Christmas time. What did they do for Christmas? Buy 2 boxes of mixed chocolates for the whole staff. Now, there was only 5 of us, but we all had to share a Christmas gift? Seriously? And speaking of Christmas, we did have to work Christmas Day. They were open every single day of the year, including Christmas. Everybody got scheduled a mandatory 4 hour shift. So you had to work at least 4 hours on Christmas Day. like, dude, I know it's a business. You don't have to be closed every single holiday, but at least closed. We were always closed on Christmas Day, so the staff could have a day off. We close early on Christmas Eve. Instead of closing at 9, we close at 7. But I guess from their ethnicity, is if that's the word, I guess maybe they didn't celebrate Christmas, which is fine, but you have to realize your entire staff does. If they've got to miss, like, luckily, I was scheduled like 4 to 8. So at least I got to spend Christmas with my family. But if you're scheduled first thing in the morning, you have to be in there at 9 a.m. until at least 1 p.m. And then one of the other guys was a little upset because he was scheduled 5 to midnight. So there goes, he's gonna miss Christmas dinner. After I quit, it was at least 5, 6 years before I went back the odd time. I ended up renting mostly from Home Cinema Video because we knew the owner. So I was like, I'd rather support him. And, or I rented from across the video store across the street from Super 8 Video. I think I'm rented from there from Super 8 Video twice after I quit, and that was between 2000 and 2005. And that was it.